Alright, so in order to create a sales order, say that Cami or another sales agent gets a phone call, we're going to go into the sales module here and click on sales order. These are all our open sales orders, which will not show up if you've specified in the user restrictions and I can't think of the word, but user capabilities. If you select them to be only a part of the shop group, then they're only going to see shop supplies and shop orders and all those things. And if they're set up right now, the location group as all three, like the admin is, you're going to see all the sales orders, you're going to see all of the orders for TerraFlame Home. So you'll want to segregate when you create new users, and that's something that you can view on Fishable's website. They have training videos on creating new users, and it's actually under the setup module. It's pretty straightforward. But let's go ahead and create a new sales order for the bill of materials item that we actually created. So let's create a new sales order. You'll want to search for the customer before. You know, if they've ordered from us before, you're going to want to use the same account that they used before. So go ahead and type in their name, see if it's in there. Ask them if they've ordered through us before. If they haven't, then let's go ahead and create. We'll just actually use Dan Palmer, and it's going to run you through a process where you can actually build the billing address and the shipping address, and you can edit this here. If it's a customer that needs a purchase order that they're using, you can enter in their purchase order here. But let's go ahead and add the product. So we just built the DSHB01B2 CCBLA. Okay, so we don't have inventory to build this item, so it's going to say insufficient quantity for some items, one or more of the parts, insufficient quantity to fulfill this order. So it's going to back order these items, which is good. So let's go ahead and hit finish. It will put that there at the sale price. When you set up the customer, you can set them up to be a dealer or a wholesale or whatever, and in the pricing rules, which I can go through later, that will allow you to give them a certain percentage discount, so that this price will automatically populate to the correct price that you're selling it for. But you can always go in here and change the price. So let's say we're going to sell for $2,500. Make sure that you come down here if they're a Utah resident, click on Utah sales tax, otherwise it's 0. Location group is the shop, because that's where it's going to pull the inventory from. The class is TerraFlame Home, which is a designer item. Let's say yes, we want to update that. And let's go into the details. Make sure that the payment terms is cash in advance. That's how they're going to pay, because they're going to pay before we ship it out. A carrier, select whatever carrier, which usually we use FedEx Ground, but if it's a shipment that we're going to send by a different shipping company, you can add that in the shipping module and vendors module. But go ahead and ship service. We're going to do ground. Priority, keep it as normal, and if there's any memos that you need to add, you can add them here. So let's say we're done, we've talked to them. You want to go ahead and take their payment, which you go ahead and click on. You're going to save the sales order and then take their payment. So you can click on Visa card and run through credit card number, expiration date, the CVC number, the name on the card. Hit next. It will say that it was processed. This will go into the unit sales account when it imports into QuickBooks. So let's go ahead. Once you save it, you need to issue it. So if you're just doing a quote for a customer, you can hit save and then stop at this point. But in order for to get the ball rolling, you're going to want to go ahead and hit issue. So we'll go ahead and issue, and that will prompt you to send an email to the customer. So let's go ahead and say yes, and it will pull up this customer email. It'll say thank you for your order, and you can edit these email templates, and I can go through that in a later training. Also, as you know, I need to reiterate this many times, all of this information is pretty easy to find on Fishable's website. If you go here and click in search and say email template and hit enter, it's going to have their Wikipedia or wiki page that has all their information. It has their support training videos right here, and it's taking some time to load for some reason, but let's go ahead and click on their training videos. All of this information here would be very beneficial to watch, probably better than my training video. And then you have their documentation wiki here, which you know, has all of these different how-tos and questions that they've already answered. Anyway, let's go ahead and enter this in. It's going to have the purchase order number that already, you know, pulls in, and then you can edit this information to match the specific sales order. Go ahead and click send. That will send out their sales order 1943 PDF, which I believe is their invoice, and you can map those to be different reports and things. But all right, so that's issued. The next step is to go into the purchasing module and make sure that you purchase everything needed for that order. Now, because it back ordered those items, if you hit auto purchase order, select location group shop, this is going to automatically create purchase orders for all of the items that you need to order in order to fulfill the orders that are on, you know, in the system. However, and you can select by vendor, or you can do all. This doesn't, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do this. You can do this manually, and then once you receive the items to fulfill the sales order, it will show that, you know, we did receive these inventory items. We can actually build the unit. It will pull those items out of inventory once they're received, and then you can ship the item, you know, the order to the customer. So we'll just go through the auto purchase order module just to show you how it works. I click next. It might take a while for this to run through, but okay. Let's see, it's still loading. While we're waiting for this, just to talk through kind of the process workflow. While you're building these bill of materials, that's obviously going to be your first step, and then you're going to want to, you can either create the sales order first, or, you know, make the purchase order. Obviously, we usually get the sales order first, so you enter that in, and then you're going to create all the purchase orders necessary to order the items in that you know, you need to build these items. So you'll create the sales order, issue the sales order, then you're going to go into purchase orders and create all the purchase orders from the different vendors, issue those, follow up on those, make sure that they're on their way, and then once you do receive these items, you need to make sure that you receive them in the system so that those items go into inventory. And once they're in inventory, because the bill of materials has already been built, then once the sales order is processed, and I'll run through the manufacturer order process and fulfillment process, once that, you know, is created and moves forward, then it will pull all those items from inventory, and you'll have a much less, you know, much less of a hassle on your hands in terms of keeping track of inventory. This may have hung, so bad example. Let's go ahead and pause this. Start again.